Far from where Tom is, the president raised millions tonight for a Republican party at a dinner in Beverly Hills.
And earlier he toured the border and talked up his plans for the wall. KCAL9 political reporter Bryan joins us now with more on the President's Day. Dave?
Yeah, from Washington, D.C. to San Diego to Beverly Hills adjacent, this has been a whirlwind political day. I'm not kidding. Mr. Trump's been in a war of words with California ever since he was elected, especially on immigration and sanctuary cities. Tonight, he's here for his first visit, the first visit of his presidency, and he didn't pull any punches. He said Governor Brown is doing a poor job running California, a state he says is out of control. And oh yes, he reportedly raised $5 million tonight in Beverly Hills for Republicans. At the end of a long day, President Trump's final scheduled stop was at this mansion with a large white tent out back in the exclusive gated Beverly Park community just outside of Beverly Hills. The Republican National Committee fundraiser was headlined by the president at the home of NFL Tampa Bay Buccaneers team owners Ed and Sherry Glazer, and the tickets weren't cheap. The dinner was $35,000 per person, $50,000 per couple. Those who wanted a photo with President Trump in addition to dinner spent $100,000. And the price for participating in a roundtable political discussion with the president, well, you had to shell out $250,000. Oscar-winning actor Jon Voight, who's been a strong supporter of President Trump and attended his inaugural festivities, told our Crystal Cruz, even though he's not attending tonight's fundraiser, he admires President Trump.
He's a fellow who I'm very proud of right now. He followed through on all his promises, and the American people haven't been let down.
The greeting when President Trump flew into LAX on a rainy Tuesday afternoon was subdued. There were 3 officials to greet him, including Republican National Committeeman Sean Steele and his wife, Orange County Supervisor Michelle Steele. No governor, no mayor, no members of Congress. The LA Times reports it polled more than a dozen Southern California Republican candidates, and 10 of them said they had no plans to attend events with Trump or did not respond at all. A far cry from the big airport crowds for President Obama at LAX. President Trump delivered a speech to cheering Marines at the Marine Corps Air Station Miramar in San Diego. In addition to promising pay raises for Marines and spending more than $700 billion a year on the armed forces, President Trump talked about his plan to militarize space.
My new national strategy for space recognizes that space is a warfighting domain, just like the land, air, and sea. We may even have a Space Force. We'll develop another one. Space Force. We have the Air Force, we'll have the Space Force.
The president also threw down the gauntlet to California on the sanctuary state and cities issue.
My administration is confronting sanctuary city policies that nullify federal law, violate our Constitution, and threaten the safety and security of our nation. They shield criminals. We can't do that.
But California officials say they're ready to fight.
The institutions that we have in this country are strong, and so we'll see Donald Trump in court, whether it's on the border wall or in his attempts to coerce states like California to do his bidding on immigration enforcement.
The president's first California visit began at Otay Mesa, where he looked over a series of prototype border walls and declared it would be better to choose a wall that has some openings so the Border Patrol can see what's coming at them from the other side. And while he was in the San Diego area, the president teed off on Governor Jerry Brown.
Well, I think Governor Brown's done a very poor job running California. They have the highest taxes in the United States. The place is totally out of control. You have sanctuary cities where you have criminals living in the sanctuary cities.
To which Governor Brown tweeted this: "Thanks for the shout out, real Donald Trump, but bridges are still better than walls, and California remains the 6th largest economy in the world and the most prosperous state in America. #facts." Wow. Now, Mr. Trump's schedule has been unusually secretive, and the same goes for tomorrow. He's expected to leave in the morning, but we don't know when or by what route. The LAPD warns streets downtown will remain closed until 1 p.m., and drivers downtown and on the west side should expect some delays. Nothing new there, Juan, huh?